How are we going, everyone? Out in the orchard today. We've been netting the trees because the trees that have got fruit on them still, like these apple tree here, we've had to net them. I'm not sure if I've shown you this, but nevertheless, I've given them a summer prune, and it is that time of the year, folks. You know what time of the year it is? Prune your trees. So you start harvesting and prune. In some instances, like mine here, I've had to prune them before I harvest because the damn bloody birds are getting in there. So we've got fruit falling down here. We're going to collect it. I'm not going to prune anymore, but we've got so much on here. We're dehydrating the fruit too, by the way. So if you haven't heard about me talking about that, well, I'm telling you now. Look at this. They've attacked it. Sorry about the long shadows. It's late in the afternoon. I've got to pick all this fruit because I've got to clean this orchard up because I've got to present it to you guys. I've got to present it to you because we've got the workshops coming up. So we're going to talk about pruning fruit trees. Now, while we're on that topic, let's go and do one over here. This is a pear tree. Have a look at that on top. And that's been hit by pear cherry slug. It's not a disease, it's the actual slug that's caused some of this damage. Well, there might be some dieback as well, but most of this is basically, it's easier to see it. If I can get you one that's a good example. See how it's skeletonized? I hope you can see that. Now that there is basically the pear cherry slug eating on it. Now it's out of season, but you might find some here and there. They're not going to do a hell of a lot of damage, and look, at the end of the day, this time of the year that is, but sometimes they can defoliate your tree completely. Strip it down, it becomes skeletonized, it can't photosynthesize, and it really reduces the amount of energy the tree is able to produce and connect with the soil. So it's important to monitor that in the season. But for now, look at this. Now last year, this is where we did the prune, and you can see this year's growth we've had there. It's bloody about 1 meter. Now I can probably cut it just a little bit above it or below it. I'm going to try and force this tree to open up, because we're getting a straight upward growth with the pear trees, unlike the apple trees where they are opening up and they're quite reactive. These ones here aren't behaving that well, but you can see where we've done prunes in the past, and see, it won't happen in one season, in one cycle of years, season, sorry folks, meaning that you do one prune and expect it the following season to behave. Sometimes when this happens, it's going to take 2 or 3 years before you can force the tree and train it well so it can open up. See what we're getting now? Now this is the year before, yeah. So last year we did a prune here, right? Now if you look further down here, that was the year before. So we've got this dog leg happening because we cut to an outward facing bud. We don't just cut at any height. So if you want it at that height there, you've got to face or find the bud that's facing outward, not from the center, cut it down 1/2 centimeter above. That's all you need to do. That's what we've done here, and it's doing that ever so slightly dogleg. I can weigh it down like I've done with other trees, and you see my weeping plum tree? Gorgeous, isn't it? You can weigh it down like that, tie it down with bottles or whatever you want, a string straight to the ground and peg it, and that will help open it up. In fact, I think I'm going to have to do that because we're into our 3rd, 4th year here. More, 5. We're into our 5th year, and this tree is just not behaving. So this year, right now, summertime, we just do a cut. Bring it right down because we don't want it to grow any further. Just below arm's reach, so I can reach up to here. I'm 6 foot, that's about 8 foot. So I'm going to cut it down at 6.5 foot. If I stand on this mound, isn't that how you like me, honey? Yeah, bad luck. So I'm 6.5 inches. That didn't sound right either, did it now? So just bring it down to your arm's reach, whether you're 6 foot or 6 inches or 5 foot. The idea is that we shock the tree, well, not shock it, cause the tree to get into sync, drop its leaves, go into dormancy, and not freak out from a very late winter prune, because that's what we've been all trained, and I was trained the same way years ago. I've seen everybody talking about it, and some people will probably still say that. Now, if you haven't seen me or heard about doing a summer prune, folks, ever before, other than just now, so you're watching me for the first time, I urge you to do a bit of research, and not just on my platform. Go on other YouTube channels, other platforms, whatever you want on the internet. Research summer pruning and the benefits of it, especially where we live here in Australia. You know, our climates are completely different to some of these trees where they've originated, their hometowns, or, you know, the climates that they grow in. Some trees require snow in winter. We don't have snow here. Well, we do, but not in suburbia or even where I am here. Although we did have snow in September, but it was very flaky. It wasn't like a traditional snowfall, so that you get where these trees come from. So they don't actually go into dormancy. So what do they need? They need to be slowed down in winter. And if you don't prune them in summer and through winter when they're not dormant, well, not completely dormant, because some of these trees actually hold their leaves through winter, be it all half a dozen here and there. That means the tree's still actively growing and connecting with the soil, which it'll do regardless because it's got to stay alive, but it's not completely dormant. So when you prune in winter, the tree instantly reacts to that, meaning it prepares itself for spring, which is only around the corner, to burst into growth. These are still doing that, even though with the summer prune that I'm doing and the winter prune, which is a tidy up, they're still doing it. So, you know what? I'm going to give this, let's mark this one, all right? We're in 1, 2, 3, 4th row in, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th pear tree. We're going to come back and monitor this in the future because I'm going to prune this pretty hard now. And you're probably wondering, why is he pruning so fast? He's not paying attention to the buds and all that. I'm going to do that in winter. So at the moment, I'm just looking for the length that I want to keep it at. So some of these side shoots that are coming out, I'm cutting them down so they can start bearing fruit here. So I'm going to work on these buds that are down below here, do an undercut as I've done here, which means it'll get some dieback and trigger these little buds to start flowering rather than just growing into little shoots. So that's the aim there. So I want to bring them down. The aim here is, this is my structural branch. It's coming out, it's come up beautifully. I don't want it to go any further out, so I'm going to cut it back again and bring it out there. Because, look at that, how did that curve up? Look at it, I've cut it out, and this banana, well, it's turned into a banana. It's curved on its own to go straight up. It just wants to grow up. So I'm going to bring this right back down again, just like that and that. And we're going to try and bring it out more. And this here will start to bear fruit for me later on. Well, we're going to work on that. That's the intention there. So the aim is to bring out your branches and have all your little spurs on the side growing like you do with your apple trees pretty much, folks. But some pears just don't behave and they keep wanting to grow outwards or upwards, sorry. So we bring it right down. Look at this. Look at this shoot. That's come out of, I know it's hard to see. Well, it's just down here. I don't need that there. I don't need that there. So, and the thing about summer pruning, you really can't see exactly what you're doing unless you take super time on it and you monitor and you sit there and you count all the buds and you go crazy. So we just cut. And they're all going to get recut again, maybe now, if I haven't done it right, like this one down here, all the way down here. I don't need it. It's been cut off once before. You could see that there. It's suck it up again. So that there has got to come off completely. And we're going to cut it off like that there. Now I'm going to show you in a week or two what will happen from what I've just done to this tree. And I can guarantee you pretty much it's going to look like I've done nothing because it's all going to grow back pretty quick. But for the purpose of the exercise, I know this tree is pretty resilient. That's why I'm doing it. And you can all see how trees perform when they get a hard prune. Now we've got a lot of growth on that side. You know what I'm seeing now, the way it is? This side where we get the northerlies all the bloody time, the branches are all gone upright. This side where we don't, they're growing out. I've got to bring this right down. That's way too high already. It's had a few prunes, but not in a happy place. I don't like it that high. And you know what? The best part about this is, folks, if you bugger it up, it'll grow back. If you want to learn more about this and hands-on, because this is really rushed, you can sign up to one of our workshops, join us in the class. They're intimate classes, only 20 people per class maximum, so that we can get to know you properly, you know, understand if you've got any problems in the garden that you want to share with us, so we can have a one-on-one in some cases and get out here and enjoy some of the produce, because we are cooking for you too, by the way, so it's all house food. Vasili'sGarden.com workshop, you can go to the tab there, find all the different dates, and we're at the Yarra Valley Plant Fair and Garden Festival in April as well, so the details on the website. And Black Grit, a lot of people are freaking out. Black Grit is out of stock in our warehouses. Some garden centers have got some. We've got new stock coming in. It's scheduled for the 24th of Feb. We're running a special item as a pre-order. The prices are going to be, well, not going to be jacked up too much, but they still have to go up relative to what it's costing us. So Unfortunately, those wonderful $60 specials and even less, they're not going to happen anymore, folks. I mean, that's $79, that's its base price for now, but when it lands, it's go up. Check it out at Vasili'sGarden.com. But for now, I've got to get back on the brush cutter, folks, drink the rest of my wife's wine, because that's what she's been doing while filming, and clean this place up for you guys so we can be ready for the workshops. For me, Vasili, Aresi, nah, bugger off. Oh, that tastes like the salt vinegar. Ugh. How do you drink that?